My name is Susanne Eklund, and I represent the Swedish IO European Minds. The topic for this webinar is how to register your profile for Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs, and specifically the section called Motivation. This section has a number of questions, and I will present them one by one. But first of all, some general instructions that are valid for all your answers. It is in your answers to these questions that we will show that you are ready to invest your time in Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs as a learning experience. And your answers shall have the focus of the host entrepreneur as the reader, but also the Commission and your IO who grants the support. You need to show that you're an entrepreneur at heart, that you're ready to start your company and eager to find new cooperations. You are expected to show to the reader that you expect not only to learn from the host entrepreneur, but also to contribute to the host entrepreneur's business as well. You are generally expected to be dynamic, serious, creative, and take initiatives when you're participants in the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program, but please don't forget to show this in your answers as well. The first question regards why you want to participate and what your expectations are. You need to clearly describe what you want to learn and achieve in relation to your entrepreneurship. For example, to learn about the business in another country, to learn how to manage staff, company finances or marketing, to make contact for future cooperations, and so on and so on. Let it show that you are dedicated to being an entrepreneur. When you motivate why you want to participate, you should not be too general. Here you show your personal visions and goals, and the learning needs must relate to your individual needs. But there is no need for private information. The second question is where you describe how your learning needs will develop your business. What will the exchange bring to your company in the future? This question regards both what you need to start your business or to boost your existing business. The international perspective should be there. What do you expect from an international perspective? What can you achieve internationally that you could not achieve in your own country? The next question is about your international experience. You should describe your international experience from studies or work abroad. And here you can describe what you can foresee when it comes to practical preparations like travel, insurance, and so on. But more relevant is the business-related preparations. For example, how will you get knowledge about the country and the culture, about the business culture, about your sector in another country, and so on. Here you show that you're prepared to make the most out of this international experience. This question is where you focus on selling yourself. What added value will you bring, and why should the host choose you? Please describe your competences and skills with a focus on what you can offer to your host entrepreneur. Skills in tools and programs, languages, networks, and so on. I recommend that you describe your personal qualities, but remember to stay focused on the qualities of relevance to your professional relationship. Do you work well in teams? Are you structured? You're creative? You're open to new experiences, and so on. Again, be personal but not private. Try to avoid cliches and avoid being too general. How are you unique? Why should the host choose you? Show your strengths. Don't be shy. Also, to make sure to show that you have the ambition to contribute to the development of your host entrepreneur's business with your skills and competences. It is now time to look back at the whole picture that you have presented in your answers. Do you feel that this shows who you are? Have you shown that you're dynamic, serious, creative, and take initiatives? Have you shown that you're an entrepreneur at heart? In a coming match with a host entrepreneur, the personal match between you two is very important for a successful exchange. The profile is the first chance for the reader, that is the host, to discover if the two of you are a possible match, and this could be the stage when the host decides if he or she wants to take the next step in contacting you or not. So let it show that you're unique, and if you now feel that there's something missing, go back and add more information. After this follows a few questions that are simply you put in the right answers quite easily. First of all, your experience in running a business in number of years. But be aware that to be eligible, you should either not have started your company yet, which means that you enter a 0, or that you register your profile before the business is 3 years old. You should state your working experience in months. You need to upload your CV. The CV is a summary of your educational and vocational background, your competences and skills, and your work experience. You can use any format you want, but if you want a suggestion, I can suggest that you use the Europass CV format. Here you also upload your business plan, and please see other webinars regarding the business plan. There is also room for other additional documents. For example, if your business plan is in 2 sections. The final question is where you give a short overview of your business plan. This needs to be a summary where the reader can see what your business does or will do, who is the customer, and what do you offer. Please note, do not simply refer to the uploaded document, as it is only your own IO that can access your full business plan. The host entrepreneurs cannot read it in your profile. They can only see this short overview. With this, I have now presented all the questions in the motivation section. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Susanne, for the presentation. I will unmute all the others in order to be able to allow them to ask questions, if any. Meanwhile, I will ask you a first question regarding the short overview of the business plan. Many NEs ask me, well, I already have the business plan and a short overview of the business plan at the beginning of the business plan, which is a summary also. So why do I have to write this again into the application form? Can you please explain why they need to also give that short overview into the application?
Thank you, Anna. Yes, the answer is quite easy. The uploaded document, the document, the business plan that you upload as a PDF or something, for example, it can only be seen by the IO. It cannot be seen by any other reader in the system, which means that the host entrepreneurs cannot see it at all. So if you don't enter a short description in this field, they have no understanding at all of what your business intends to be. And without that, your profile isn't complete, basically. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for explaining this so well. Any other questions coming from other participants?
Hello, Susanne. This is Maria Luisa. Thanks for the presentation. I have a question. What would you say is the difference between being private and personal in the answers?
Thank you. That's a very good question. Being personal, it's about showing your personality, your opinions, your skills. It starts from yourself, your experiences and your emotions. This is how the reader gets to know who you are. But when you're being private, it's when you write about issues that only concern yourself or people close to you. There is no clear line. It's your own integrity that sets your individual line between when you're being personal or private, But in the context of Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs, you want the reader to get to know you as an entrepreneur. What motivates you? What do you need? What can you offer? But the reader doesn't need to know about your family, your holiday plans, sexuality, religion, family griefs, and so on. In this context, that is private. Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a question as well. It regards the language of both the profile and the CV. Many NEs choose their own language or the language of the destination country to do their own profile and CV. Which is the best venue to approach this?
Thank you. That's a very good question. You are allowed to use any language you want, any of the official EU languages. But I think the key question is to think about who the reader is supposed to be. Of course, the IO you've chosen, but also the host entrepreneurs in your preferred countries. What languages would they understand when reading your profile? And in reality, this means that English is a favored language as it is understood by most readers. Would you agree?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. Is there any other comment or question before closing this section? Okay. If there are no more questions or comments, I would like to thank you all for participating in this webinar.